Hello. Welcome everybody. I'm in California. Wow, mama. I'm so happy that I can still stream. Welcome. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Alex. Hi Alex, hi Chris. Hello, Argo TZ, operator. Kaylee sis. Yeah. Elbrus. Welcome, welcome. I'm so happy. Oh, water. Yes, thank you, Alex. I should take a sippy. I haven't had a drink of water since I got back. Oh, thank you, Anne. Wishing me a pleasant stream as always. So appreciated. Yeah, California girls. Living it up in the Hotel California.
Welcome to California. I hope you have been able to avoid a certain Excalibur so far.
So far, so good. Oh, thank you, Janusake, for the bird guard redeem. Yeah, like, I got back like exactly an hour ago and I like scrambled to make sure that everything was working correctly. I just had to install some software for my new travel microphone. It's an Elgato Wave 1 and it's working surprisingly well, I think. Yeah, I had to install software for that because my OBS wasn't natively recognizing it, but it's working well so far. Let's see. I better change. Oh, thank you for gifting a sub, TZ. Thank you, thank you. Mama. Okay, there we go. Oh, where are we at? I was hanging out with Alex and Chris. They're both in the chat right now. We went to this really good like authentic Chinese restaurant. Well, we didn't sit down at it. We ordered takeout, but we got like dumplings and bao and stuff, and it was so good. It's been like years since I had like authentic Chinese dumplings. We got all sorts of different kinds. Like some had like soup in them and pork and vegetables and chicken. Oh yes, and it was very windy. There was actually a gale warning when we sat down to eat. And we kind of had to fight the wind to make sure that our bags and stuff wouldn't fall off the table. But we succeeded in eating the bao. Oh, you need to hit the authentic Chinese place before your sushi. Oh, Shaya Tempari, I hope the sushi goes well. Best of luck. Oh yes, the soup dumplings, exactly. Yeah, it's really interesting and it's so tasty. Oh my goodness. Yeah, 10 out of 10. I would go there again. Absolutely. Pretty windy down in Florida. The only difference is that it's never cold. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was quite hot and humid the last time I was down there. I've only been there once, and it was for our very first convention, Florida SuperCon. That was in, I want to say like early 2014, a few months before the first Freedom Planet came out. Oh, why don't we just like make a clean landing here? Wow. Huzzah. I reduced the texture size of my model by 1/2 so that it would still run at 60 frames per second. I think that is working well still. Welcome to the ground. Thank you. And thank you, Anne, for head pats. It does not seem like they are working anymore. Let me add the shortcut back. I forgot to add it to this computer. Come on, trigger hotkey. I'm looking for it. Yay! head pats. Yes, thank you, Anne, for head pats. So nice. Another happy landing. Llama. Oh, yes. Yeah, head pats broke because I didn't have them set up on my Stream Deck layout on this computer. But gosh, I'm so happy that I have pretty much a solid mobile stream station that I can bring with me on my travels whenever I travel. Ooh, it was 5 Celsius there. Oh, that's chilly. I left because I live in New York, like upstate New York in the Adirondacks. Of course, there's snow covering the ground up there, but I left the day before a major snowstorm hit there. And tonight it's 22 below zero. Where back at home. Oh my goodness. Meanwhile, it was sunny and 70 degrees here. Haha. And at nighttime, it does get chilly at nighttime here. But that's what I brought a scarf for. Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, that is cold. Oh yeah! We got more emotes approved. One of them is one of my favorites. It's the bat burrito. Yay. Bat burrito. I love the burrito so much. It's so cute. And the other one that was approved was the sparkly eyes. Like, ooh, shiny. That one I just put in the chat. So we can use that one. We are absolutely delighted by what we see. Oh, thank you, Connor, for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. I am Spacey Batotelli. I am a gadgeteer bat and a game developer. And I have taken a trip all the way to the West Coast from the East Coast. And I am currently on a mobile streaming station in my hotel room. It's been so much fun so far. I've been here since Wednesday night. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh yeah, I want to show a slideshow of some of the photos I've taken so far. Haha! Sunny Glendale. I took a picture of the skyline. It's pretty nice. Oh, thank you for head pads, Aegis. So nice. TZ, holding Bat Burrito up on Pride Rock. Oh, let me take Sippy. Oh. Yeah, I get very thirsty here since the climate is so much warmer and still dry. But honestly, I do like warm, dry weather. It's when it's humid that I start feeling really sticky and gross. But it's been nice so far. Yeah, nice view, huh? This is pretty close to the hotel I'm staying at. And like right below this, just off camera, is like a drive-in movie theater. And like I saw it like last night. Like people were, like a whole bunch of cars were pulling out because the movie had just finished. So I guess if the timing is right, we could actually watch a movie right from our hotel window. It wouldn't have any sound to us, but you know. And oh yes, Alex gave me this as soon as we met, and got situated in the hotel. Yes, I love it so much. And for those who are new, Alex drew the chippy art at the bottom of my Twitch screen and my bio and stuff. And she drew another one, and oh my gosh, I love it so much. I just had to show it off. I literally cried when she gave it to me. And she made one for Ashley too, because Ashley is accompanying me on this trip. I love you too, Alex. Oh my gosh. That's so cute. She makes such pretty little crafty things for me sometimes. Oh my gosh. You're the best, Alex. And so we pretty much for most of the trip, we have been a 4-person party consisting of Ashley, Alex, her partner Chris, and myself. And we took a walk down Burbank, and this is one of the stores that we stopped by. It's a nice flower shop, and it's got things like incense inside, and it's so pretty. I figured I'd take a photo, and we took like a group photo together, but I don't have any photos of the group in because I don't know how comfortable they are with that. So I took one without people in it, and I just like the florals. And one of the main destinations during this walk was this really cool tabletop game store called Geeky Tees. And this is like the tavern area on the top floor, and you can reserve seats if you want to play like role-playing sessions with your buddies. It's really cool. Oh, thank you, Platypus, for the follow. I appreciate it so much. I'm just telling people about my trip to California, and I'm sharing some of the photos that I've taken so far.
Hey, how's your trip?
Thank you for 5 months, my Kirby. It's been awesome so far. But yeah, this is a tavern on the top floor, and I took a few more photos because it's really cute how it's put together. They've got like these like medieval looking like chairs and tables, and the table on the far end, the one with the blue borders, that has like tiles on it, so you could use it for like if you want to like use like dungeon tiles and stuff. You can use it as kind of a grid of sorts. It's really cool. And this is the stairs down to the section with like the plastic miniatures that you can buy. I didn't take any photos of like the main store itself, but just like this part, I just couldn't resist. And on one of the tables downstairs, Ashley and I played Alex's card game, Beautiful Monsters. Ashley bought this copy, and we just like sat down and played around, and it was really cool. In this particular game, we both got the same number of points, but Ashley won because if you tie, then the person who has the monster with the highest traits is the winner. And Ashley was the victor in that match. It's so fun. Where can you get this? You can order it online, actually. Alex, you're welcome to share a link. I don't know if links are going to work. Oh, yes, thank you for shouting out. But yeah, there's an online store where you can buy it from. And also, if you're in the area, you can stop by Geeky Tees and they sell physical copies. Oh, yes, it works. So drivethroughcards.com. Just look for Beautiful Monsters. It's such a cute game. Like once you get used to the rules, then it's pretty simple. Like a game session, once you know how to play, it takes like, I don't know, like 10-15 minutes. And like, because like the rules for how you gain points changes with each game, like that keeps it really fresh and interesting. And it makes me think about like different strategies you could do for different situations. Yeah. Yes, thank you for the interest, Spizario. Yeah, it's a really good 2-player game. And like, I hope there's like expansion packs in the future with new like sets of equipment and stuff. And there actually is, if you see that green octopus on the bottom, that's the mascot of Geeky Tees, who actually didn't have a name before this card game was made. And Alex asked them for a name for the mascot, and they just came up with Hector. But yes, Hector is a card that's exclusive to Geeky Tees. You can only get him if you buy the game directly from their store. But yes, oh, that was such a cozy time. Like the first, and also they have a section where where you can see some of the cats that they've adopted. Like, cause I guess like they adopt out cats as well as like selling like tabletop games and stuff. It's really cute. And there's a couple of cats that like walk around the store too. the oldest one is named Mr. President. And I got to say hi to him a few times. It was so nice. Yes, they're a kitten rescue. Oh my gosh, it's a very charming story. Okay, the other one's name is Carlos. Oh, that's good to know. Yeah. So Carlos and Mr. President will explore the store on their own. Yeah. Oh, hi Dusky. I hope you've been having good streams as well. I heard that you debuted recently. I'm so happy for you. Yeah, Dusky's VTuber looks so cool. I can't wait to join your stream once I'm back. Bats. Bats, bats, bats. Oops. Bats, bats, bats. Haha. Welcome, Mida Hakiba. I'm just telling everybody about my California trip so far. I've been here since Wednesday, and I'm sharing some photos. Nighttime stream. Oh, your streams have gone well, and you're almost affiliate? That's awesome. Yeah, it's pretty much... The requirements are reasonable, you know? You just have to stream consistently for a while, and then you'll reach it, and then you'll be able to use like custom emotes and stuff. Okay, so next. This was a cool like medieval style building that was across the street from Geeky Tees. Apparently it's an insurance building, so it's like ye old insurance. I think it looks cute. There's actually a few buildings like this that I've seen throughout like the Glendale Burned Bank area. I don't know why they're scattered all over the place, but it's kind of cute to see. Yeah, I agree. Event Horizon hitting 3 consistent viewers is surprisingly hard if you don't like network before. But with prior like community building, with the help of a few friends, I think it's pretty reasonable. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Murga plushie. I haven't streamed since the Murga plushie was revealed. I shall talk about that as well after I'm done with my slideshow. So we went to a really good hot dog place that night, and I turn around, and out of the blue, it's right there, the Warner Brothers Tower from Animaniacs. Warner Brothers Studios is in the Burbank area, and a whole bunch of other animation studios. We also passed by Nickelodeon Studios, and I'm very curious to know if they do like public tours of the buildings. I think that'd be really cool to see. Well, yeah, like Burbank is pretty much the animation capital of the West Coast. Yeah, we went to hot dogs. There's a really cool hot dog place called Dog House. And, oh my gosh, it was so good. And they have like cheeseburger sliders that are really good. I had one of those. And, oh, welcome, Venny. Welcome. I'm Spacey Batotelli. I'm a Gadgeteer Bat, and a game developer. And I'm telling people about how my trip to California is going so far. Oh my gosh. Oh, Universal City Walk? I can't say I've heard of that. Oh, really, Chris? Cartoon Network was right by where we ate tacos? Oh yeah, I think I vaguely remember you mentioning that to us. So cool. Favorite hot dog? You can't go wrong with like the classic, you know, ketchup and mustard. But the one I got was really good. I think it had like avocado and like diced tomatoes on it or something. It was like a SoCal hot dog. But you can get really fancy with them. Fellow bat, yeah! Bats. Alvini, welcome back. I get unreasonably excited when other bats are around. Mama, a flock of bats. There's another term for like a group of bats. Like there's colony of bats, and there's another term for what that I forget. More bats, more fun. Is a hot dog a sandwich? If it's between 2 buns, I say yes. But if it's something like a corn dog where it's like completely wrapped in like a bun like thing, then maybe on a technicality. Oh right, a cauldron of vats. That is also scientifically correct. So a group of vats can also be referred to as a cauldron. A murder of vats. Is a hot dog a taco? I would say no, personally. When I think taco, I think of like a circular tortilla or shell that has been like folded up. Taco dog, mama. There was a good hot dog sausage place in the Art District in LA. You wonder if it's still around? Oh, I haven't been to LA, like the actual like downtown LA yet. Tomorrow I'm actually going to downtown LA, and I'm gonna meet up with a couple more of my friends. So we're gonna be like a party of 6, and we're going to this place that serves like Hiroshima style okonomiyaki, I think it's pronounced. I've never had it before, so I'm really looking forward to it. And then depending on how we're feeling, we'll either explore Little Tokyo together, or we'll go to a really cool bookstore called The Last Bookstore. And I would be delighted to see that, because I like walking around bookstores, and I especially like checking them out if there's a chance that I could find like a good leather-bound edition of different novels, especially like high fantasy or sci-fi. Hi, X-Scythe. Welcome. I'm telling people about my California trip. Oh, I should take sippy. Oh, thank you for hydrate reminder, Alex. Okay, next slide. Oops. I mean, next slide. Blah. So I took a bunch of photos of this specific building, which is the Pasadena City Hall. It's got really interesting architecture. Like the cleanliness of the walls and stuff makes me think that this building is relatively new, but they've got like old school like sculptures on the buildings and stuff, and it's really interesting. Whoops. Mom. Why is it not advancing the slide? Oh. Okay, for some reason my slideshow broke. So this is the only photo you get to see of this building. Unless I manually like delete them one by one. There we go. Okay, that works. Yeah, this is the entrance. And like there's like a lion up there on top. That's really cool. Oh, you're working on music. Oh, awesome. It's really cool to see to hear different musicians' styles. So I'd love to hear it sometime. Oh, enjoy your burger. Thank you. Wait, no, that wasn't directed at me, and I'm not eating a burger. Why did I say that? Yeah, best wishes on the music. Of any. Does the Magister lives there? I mean, he could be sufficiently satisfied by this sort of building, I suppose. And it had a really cool courtyard area with like a garden and stuff and hedges. It was like being like in a royal palace almost. Yeah, just like the royal palace, you know? Oh, let me drag that down. Boop. Okay. Yeah, I forgot the Tim Tams. Yeah, Oh yeah, that's true, Buff Bike Fu. Marisol does live in a city hall that is quite royal, so this would be up Sal's alley, I think. Yeah, and here's a fountain. Blah, 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 blah. It's so pretty. Yeah, like I felt the stone, and it doesn't feel old, even though it looks old. But it still feels sturdy. Yeah, the photos are also. Thank you so much, Mike Harvey. And this was kind of like a neat castle tower that was part of it. Does it have +5 security? I didn't see any security guards. But I did see a bunch of tourists who were like taking photos and stuff. And I saw I saw like someone in like a really fancy dress too. So that was cool. Yeah, we just walked around. And like further into the city hall, there's this area with like lots of fountains and flowing water and like animal statues and stuff. And we went up the steps, and it was like an entrance to kind of like a hotel plaza. So like we could actually stay there someday if we wanted to, I suppose. But that was right around time where I started getting really, really thirsty. So we went to Jamba Juice afterwards. That was pretty nice. And then we went to a really cool ice cream place that had lots of like really interesting flavors. And then we got authentic Chinese dumplings for dinner. And then I am back here now. Yeah, Jamba Juice. Jamba Juice. Jamba Juice. But yeah, that's all the photos that I took that don't have people in them. I shall fly back to chat for you all. Yeah, authentic dumplings are where they're at. I only had them one other time, and it was during one of my trips in Texas, which is like a business trip because we were exhibiting at PAX, Freedom Plant 2. So it was really nice to try it in like a more relaxed setting. And I love it so much. Oh my gosh, I have to try it more often. It's so good. And because like the dumplings are so soft, they go down so easily. So my stomach is very happy right now. Yeah, we had the soup dumplings, and mine had like soup with like bits of pork in it. It was so good. Oh, you had soup dumplings in New York City? Awesome. I should go to New York City again sometime. I'll just have to figure out a way to get there that would not involve trying to find a place to park my car for the whole trip, because it can get very, very expensive. Maybe if I could ride with somebody else, so that way, like between a party of multiple people, we only have to worry about parking one car. Oh, did Ashley get her bow? Ashley is not back yet, but I presume she'll be back sometime tonight. And then I can give her the vegetarian bow. There's also a place close to Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. Oh, nice. Have I ever had St. Louis style Chinese food? There's nothing like it anywhere else. Oh, cool. I have not had St. Louis style Chinese food, but I shall keep that in mind. Oh, dead center between New York and Boston. Interesting. Thank you, Tricidia, for the Bird Guard redeem. Dusky says, come to Tennessee. We have coyotes and weird sodas. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. I do have a few friends in Tennessee. It would be cool to have a Tennessee meetup. Yeah, Alex, I'm sure she's out having lots of fun too. Ashley is meeting with Zach right now, who did the writing for Pedal Crash. So it's kind of like a Pedal Crash staff mini meetup. So I'm happy for Ashley. So North Carolina has barbecue, Vietnamese, and more weird sodas. Oh, nice. You got coyotes here too? There's coyotes in upstate New York too, in the Adirondacks. Like my aunt is a farmer and she lives next door to us, and her husband like has to hunt down coyotes that trespass, because if they don't shoot them down, then they're gonna kill all of their birds because they have a lot of birds like chickens and ostriches and stuff and peacocks. And like we can hear them howling at night sometimes, and like Sammy is very tuned to coyote howling. Like he'll hear them when none of us can. Like in the middle of the night. Like in the middle of the night, it'll sound like he's just like waking up and barking, like seemingly for no reason. But we're convinced now that it's because he's hearing coyotes like a few miles away. Yeah, coyotes have very distinct sounds. Oh, hi Baron Bro. I'm in California. I'm very excited to try the family Minecraft server soon. I wanted to see if maybe I could schedule one for this trip, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen until I get back. But once I do, I could set up I could schedule a Minecraft stream on the Hika family server where I can hop on and try to find a place to set up a home base. And I could set up like a capsule core style laboratory somewhere. I'm not sure what kind of blocks I could use for that pure white look. Maybe wool. I'd have to like make like a sheep farm so I can farm wool. Yeah. Nobody will find your house on the family Minecraft server. Nice. Yeah, I'm the exact opposite. I want to make some architecture that is like very striking and noticeable. Of course, since it is a survival server, that will be quite difficult, but I'll work on it over time. Oh, yes. Okay, let me see if I've got an image that I can post of the Merga plushie. Where is it? There it is. Yes. We worked with Makeshift to make a Merga plushie, and she looks so cute, and I'm so happy. Ah! Like she's seriously like so. She's even like cuter in person. The plushie turned out really well, and I'm very grateful that I got to work with the fine people at Makeshift to make this possible. Their design team is such a joy to work with throughout the whole process. And they mailed me the very first one so I could approve it in person. So I have the very first Merga plushie, and I'm so happy. I can't wait for pre-orders to open. They open in a week on February 10th. Well, less than a week now. But yeah, February 10th, pre-orders open. Pre-orders will run for, I can't remember how long. I think like 20 days? 20 days? 15? But yeah, the minimum goal for the plushies to be produced is 200. I think we will meet that in the first day. But once the campaign is over, then the plushies will be made and shipped out. And there'll be only be one round ever. So make sure that you tell everybody in the Freedom Planet community that this is a thing. So we can get as many of them made as possible. I do wish that reruns were possible in the future, but alas, indie developers only have limited avenues for producing physical content like this. So I am just very grateful that we were able to give fans a chance to own something really cool like this. And I hope everybody enjoys it once it ships out. But yes, to answer your question, Buff Bike Fu, I did have a hand in the design of the Merga plush. Oh, Baron Bro, you got amethyst for me? Awesome, thank you. Oh yeah, that's true, Alex. I could try making like a castle tower at first because cobblestone is a lot more common than like something like wool. Oh, Dusky, your houses in Minecraft end up being terrifying. One time you made a giant Pokeball house where the basement was full of angry wolves. Oh, that sounds amazing. Yeah. Welcome, Clockwork Pretzels. Oh, there's a capsules mod for Minecraft. Lets me carry buildings around. Oh, that sounds really cool. Yeah, I'm not sure what mods the Family Minecraft server has. I think it just has the basics. Yeah, I love Murga's face on the plushie. It's so her. She's trying hard to pretend that she's not enjoying it, but she is. She likes being marketable. Yeah, I brought the Murga plush with me to California so I could show my friends in person. Yeah, she has a tail. It's so cute. So cute. Oh, you joined my Spacey Bass Discord? Awesome. Thank you, Connor. You can join the Galaxy Trail one if you'd like. All are welcome. And of course, it is centered around Galaxy Trail's games, including Freedom Planet 2, and Friend and Fairies games such as Grapple Force Arena and Telecrash. But it's a pretty wonderful community, and I'm glad that I'm part of it. Oh, that's how you can tell this is Murga after the events of Freedom Planet 2. She's mellowed out a little bit. Yeah, I'm so excited for February 10th. That's when pre-orders open. And there's a giveaway going on Twitter. If you follow both Makeship and Galaxy Trail and retweet the giveaway post, then you have a chance to win one of 2 free Murga plushies. Money-wise, it will be the same as most other Makeship plushes, which I believe is $30. Let me double check. Makeship.com. Let's see. Come on. Yeah, it's $30. Yeah. I think they're pretty, I think they're all the same, across the board. Mama. Yeah, let's meet in the first day, everybody. You still see Murga as a tsundere. I could see her kind of developing into a tsundere tendencies. Get your Murgs. Oh my gosh, I'm Murging. I've been hearing that lately. It's Murgin time. You'll buy 200 on the first day just in case. Oh my gosh, I actually wonder if I could get away with cause I'm the producer of the company. But I wonder if I could get away with doing a bulk order of several hundred Murga plushies and then save them for after Freedom Planet 2 comes out on consoles. But I've never heard of any creators who worked on Makeship plushies. I've never heard of them doing that, so I'm not sure if it's allowed. But, wishful thinking. Yeah. Yeah, there was a Lilac plush in the past by Sanchi. Well, sadly, that was a long time ago, and of course, they're long out of stock. I wish they could be restocked. Such is life. Yeah. You want a side story of Lilac teaching Murga how to hang out? Oh, that would be so cute. Or even Carol or Mila. Oh, Dusky, you and Vela brought Mila to downtown Tennessee, and Mila fell out in the park, and you didn't notice till 20 minutes later, but you rescued her, thankfully. I'm glad you did. Yeah, I lost some of my Gothic coins that I really like. They're like dark black and a little bit of a shine to them, and they've got skulls on them. Ah, I'm so sad. But I can always just order more. Bum, bum. Oh, hi Anthony. Welcome, welcome. I'm doing quite well. I am in California right now. I've been here since Wednesday night, and my trip is like a whole week. So I go back on Wednesday, like the upcoming Wednesday. And I had so much fun so far. I've been hanging out with friends and stuff. And this is my first time ever being in California. Are there plushies of other Freedom Planet characters as well? Yes, but they're all like long since sold out. There was a Lilac plushie by Sanchi. There was a Mila plush from Level Up, I think. But yeah, I wanna make more plushies in the future of other Freedom Planet characters. And like, honestly, I have a soft spot for maybe like a Corey plush, because like Corey uses a plush in the game as a decoy. And an Ah plush would be really cool too, because like he's already got kind of a chibi shape. Yeah. Oh, you got the Lilac and Mila? Nice. Awesome. She burned all over the place. Mila's Detective Adventures. Aww. Oh, Noob Junior, you just finished watching the Undertale VOD and you're doing a first playthrough alongside it? Oh, that's so awesome. I'm glad that my video could serve as a sort of walkthrough for the Pacifist true ending. Gosh, I had so much fun playing Undertale. But I definitely want to. I'm actually gonna be like collaborating with my friend Alex on compiling my entire playthrough into like a video that's like, I'd say like under an hour, because like my whole playthrough is like 13 hours in total. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that when I get back. And also when I get back, I'm gonna start playing Sonic too. That's gonna be so awesome. The Sonic series holds a special place in my heart, of course, so it'll be really cool to play through the main games. And then of course I'll also like continue Mega Manuary, but not at the same pace as the past month. I want to at least get through Mega Man 6 in February, and then maybe start the X series either like near the end of this month or in March. That's gonna be really cool. Yeah, oh, right, that's right, Dusky. You're like sewing your own like Corey decoy plush. You can't use your mom's sewing needles though? Aw. Okay, that's a good question, Mike Harvey. Would Corey's plush be Corey or her plush? I think it would resemble Corey more closely, honestly. So she'd have like the actual Corey eyes instead of the beady eyes of the decoy plush. Yeah. Oh, Alex, that's a really cool name for like playing Mega Man games in March. Mega March. Mega March. That could be kind of like a redux of Mega Manuary, where I try to get through the X series. That'd be cool. And of course, when I get back, something else on my bucket list is I'm going to start designing my swimsuit outfit, since we have surpassed the 100 sub goal. So I have some interesting ideas for it, so I can't wait to experiment. Our next goal is 200 subs. I mean, it's so high because I'm kind of a baby when it comes to horror games, but if we reach 200 subs, chat will choose a couple horror games for me to play.
Zero gifted a tier 1 sub to Law at you. They have given 17 gift subs in the channel.
Thank you for gifting a sub, Cheesy. Thank you. But yes, if we somehow, by some miracle, get 200 subs, chat will be able to pick a few horror games for me to play, and I have to play them. So that would be a very interesting experience. And like, just like I've said previously, if it's clear to me that we won't really make the sub goal in a reasonable amount of time, then I'll reduce them. I just want to like have like a realistic goal to get through. And like the goal after the horror stream goal is where I would play one of my old shames as a game designer, like one of my oldest games. It's not Christmas Time Heroes. I've heard people ask if it is, but no. It's something older and much worse. I don't want to play it, but I will, in your honor, if we get that far. A Magister plush with a removable hood? That would be amazing. Or if there was like a really good like statuette of the Magister. Because, you know, it's hard to capture his majesty and his handsomeness in plushie form. Spacey plush. You know, I feel like Makeshift is pretty open about who they work with. Like, no matter how big or how small somebody is, like, they approach people about making plushies. So I think there's a very good shot that they might be interested in the Spacey Bat plushie. I think it'd be really cool. But I won't count my chickens before they hatch. But I think my next priority, if I would work with them again on a new plush, would be a plush of Lilibri from Pelacrash. I would honestly really love that. Like, even setting aside like Ashley's enthusiasm about the idea. I would love a Lilibri plush. Spacey play doors with me? I'm not sure I understand what that means, but okay. Resident Evil 4 Remake. You know, I don't mind like action-y horror games because the power of your character kind of offsets the scary environment. You know, stuff like the original Resident Evil 4 and like Doom 3, for example. Because like it's hard for me to feel scared when I'm just like loaded to the teeth with weapons. Old shames, you call them prototypes. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, thank you, TZ. You wish for a Tim Tam? Oh, honestly, I wish for a Tim Tam too. Oh, they're so good. Oh, Doors is a horror game you played? I see. Rogue. We have been raided by Rogue Spike. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, Raiders. Splat Tim. He does it. Splat Tim.
Benetos_0 gifted a tier 1 sub to Rogue Spike. They have given 18 gift subs in the channel.
Oh, heck. Thank you, TZ, for gifting a sub to our Raiders. To the leader of the raid. Well, welcome, Raiders. I am Spacey Batotelli. I'm a Gadgeteer Bat and a game developer. And I'm having a chill Chatty Betty night stream. Chatty Betty night stream. I'm just talking about my trip to California. I've been here since Wednesday. But I live in New York. But I flew to California because I wanted to see some of my wonderful friends that I haven't seen since the pandemic. And even before then. But I've been having such a good time. And I'm also talking about like our collaboration with Makeshift on a plushie of one of the characters from our video game, Freedom Planet 2. Blah. This is the plushie of a character named Murga. And she's the main villain of Freedom Planet 2. And her plushie turned out so good, and I'm so excited. And pre-orders open on February 10th. Huzzah! Oh, hello, Quadfather. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, we're talking about plushies. Oh, Hi, Amy. Welcome. I'll take sippy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's been so fun. No joke, when you saw the Murga plush in full, your first thought was, you talk tough for someone with a big head. Yeah, it's like activating the big head cheat code in like the old school Nintendo 64 games and all that. But yeah, I like how Makeship kind of has a consistent chibi style like that. And it's not like completely like overblown like it is with Funko Pops. It still looks really cute and appealing. And like Makeship as a company is like very environmentally conscious about the plushies they produce, and like all of their plushie bags are made of recycled material. So that's really cool. I appreciate that. Ooh. I tasted bows just now in my mouth. It still tastes really good. Oh my goodness. Oh yes, Rogue Spike. I am the producer of Freedom Planet 2 and Freedom Planet 1. Space Zibatotelli is my alter ego. And I suppose you could say I am the CEO of Galaxy Trail. Yeah, she's the creator. Thank you. Thank you all for vouching for me. Yeah, the original Freedom Planet, it spent a lot of its development cycle as kind of a personal project. It wasn't until later that we decided we wanted to make it a commercial thing. But I'm glad we did. Because like the Kickstarter was like an absolutely amazing experience, and I met so many wonderful friends that would stay with me for the rest of my life. Yeah, I'm boss lady. I am the boss lady. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'll take another sippy. Phew. As refreshing as bottled water can be, it's nothing compared to Adirondack spring water, like where I come from. Like every time I travel, I just miss it. I'm awfully tempted to like bring like a bottle full of Adirondack spring water from my home to wherever I go, but I'm kind of nervous about any liquids I bring exploding in my luggage case. So it'd have to be a very secure container. Yeah, keep on sipping. Oh, Siffy, thank you. I said that you're one of my role models, especially in the gaming space. Spacey FP1 is such an inspiring achievement. Oh, thank you. Yeah, like, I am very glad for Freedom Planet 1 and like the community it helped cultivate. And like, it's kind of interesting, like comparing it to Freedom Planet 2. Oh, thank you, Soroshi, for the follow. I appreciate it. It's kind of interesting, like looking back on it and comparing it to Freedom Planet 2. And it makes me appreciate like how Freedom Planet 2 kind of evolved the concept into something like wholly unique and original. Like, I've said this at launch, and I still stand by it. Like, there is no game out there like Freedom Planet 2. Oh, when your friend visited last summer, he really wanted to take home some of the exclusive Mountain Dew flavors available at some locations. Oh yeah. I was really into Code Red when it first came out, but of course I don't drink soda anymore. Like the closest that I've come is like sparkling water, which kind of has an interesting like tang to it, but I'm not really a fan compared to like normal vitamin water, but it's pretty neat. Oh, Blake Ivory. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Just wanted to say I am helping you move forward with your dream of making a video game. Yeah, absolutely, go for it. Like, it can be a little tricky picking like a game software to work from when you're just starting out and you're not familiar with them. But I would say after you start playing with a program, stick to it. And I would definitely recommend starting with like very like small games, like small arcade style games. And even if you're not happy with the results at first, you will be surprised how quickly you get better at it. Because like when I started making games in like click and play back in the 90s, I made a lot of stinkers, of course. But I kept working at it and working at it and working at it. And eventually I started making stuff with more advanced software such as the Games Factory and Multimedia Fusion. That was like vaguely passable as like original and interesting. And like, I'm glad that I made so many freeware games growing up, because like the feedback I was able to get from those really helped me out. Oh yeah, Freedom Planet coffee mugs. that would be so cool. Yeah, yeah, Click Team. And yeah, Unity is a really good choice to start off with too. It does require some coding knowledge, of course. But if you want to jump in and try like prototyping different game concepts and you're not like familiar with like coding, like you're not a programmer, I still think that ClickTeam Fusion 2.5 is a solid starting point, because that has a more like Microsoft Excel like spreadsheet sort of thing for handling like game logic rather than like raw code. And that was actually what the original Freedom Planet was made in. But I would not recommend it if you're actually wanting to go commercial with your game, because it only natively exports to PC. You need to hire like an outside programmer to like convert it to export it to like consoles and other game systems. But I still think it's good for quickly like trying out like different ideas to see what sticks. And Game Maker Studio is another option. I'm not really a fan of it because it kind of like lags even on modern PCs. But that is an option, and like its coding language is a little bit easier to wrap your head around, I would say, compared to like C#. Yeah, exactly, Amy. Use what feels comfy to you, but at the same time, don't be afraid to look at others and see how they are the same and how they are not. Exactly. And I also really appreciate games that have their own like in-game level editor, because I think that's what really like helped cultivate my interest in creating my own game some days. I played a lot of games that had like level construction kits and stuff, and also games that like have really good modding tools. That's another good way to kind of cultivate that game design mindset. Oh, you want to make a game that celebrates your favorite arcade games? Oh yeah, good choice. You could like put your own spin on classic arcade games with your own like themes and graphics.
But since I do not recall it clearly, I'll just do so. Are there any plans now to publish comics of your IPs? If IDW was to do the work, I can only see that it will gain traction fast.
Comics.
May just me being a fan being overexcited. You?
Yeah, like I think comics would be really cool, because they would allow us to explore story beats that might not work in a game context. Because in a game, and especially in an action game like Freedom Planet 2, you always kind of need something to fight for it to be like interesting. Or at least like some sort of mini game, like for example, like the Battlesphere challenges and the race with Captain Kalau. But yeah, being in a video game, you kind of have to bend the narrative sometimes to fit with it, whereas that problem doesn't really exist in comic books. So I would love to have like a graphic novel of some kind set in the Freedom Planet universe someday. I think that'd be awesome. Wait, Click Team Fusion is $100, really? Woo. Well, that's interesting. But I do recall paying that much when I bought it, but for me it was worth it because I was planning to go commercial with it. But alas. Yeah, 2.5 for small stuff. And I agree, Alex. To all who are interested in making games, do it! Do it! Oops. Just do it! I accidentally chippied myself. Oops. I'm Chippy. Hi. I'm Chippy Spacey. Huzzah. Chippy. I am now marketable. Surprise, Chippy Farm. Mwah. I am a bat burrito. Mwah. Yeah, that's a good point, Amy. Game dev eventually requires discipline in many areas, but what kind of game you go for will make the amount of work in each area vary significantly. That's why I recommend starting with arcade games. Because you only really have to make like a small handful of levels, like if your game even has levels, and then they just kind of like loop in on each other with like slightly increasing difficulty each time. If you know what I mean. So, arcade games, my highest recommendation for those starting out. Because it gives you a very realistic goal, and it allows you to create something that has a lot of replay value for how small it is. Especially if it has like a scoring system too. Yeah. Oh, game dev is too time consuming for you, Noob Jr.? So you get your level design fixed from building levels in Levelhead? Yeah. And like, modding levels in like the original Doom games is also a really good idea if you're not really sure how you'd feel about making a full game. Like, Doom has like very basic gameplay, and like a reasonable number of assets to work with. So I recommend trying that out if you're like into first-person shooters. Just like, and there's some really good like level editing tools for Doom. Like it's something that you could just like do in an afternoon. Just make some small Doom levels for fun. And I also think it helps like to kind of like build within the context of an existing game, so that you learn like what sorts of like level design techniques are fun and interesting, you know. Yeah, get chibbied. Sorry, I'm lagging so far behind in chat. Oh no, it was first Murga, now Spacey. Bat Burrito. Oh, thank you, Anne, for head pats. So nice. Yeah, space shooters. I made a lot of space shooters back in the day, Mike Harvey. It's really simple gameplay, really simple graphics. Like, pretty much anybody could draw a spaceship. And gameplay is like easy to program and understand. And like, I have a feeling why that's why there's so many Touhou fan games, is because like Touhou is basically a space shooter. Most of the games are. So like it's a good like Touhou fan games are like an interesting like entry point into game design, I guess. I would say. Oh yes, Mario Maker as well. I'm really excited to see like what kinds of people like got their start in Mario Maker years from now, once like the kids who played it are at the age where they can really like seriously start learning how to make games. Oh yeah, beat 'em ups can be fun, Amy, but also very tricky. Yeah, if you're starting out, it's just best to go with your gut in regards to more precise gameplay elements. Oh, Siffy, you used to design Gradius levels as a little kid? That's awesome. Yeah. The Mario Maker generation. My favorite game designer. I guess that's kind of the same as asking me what my favorite game studio is. And I'd have to say Treasure, because, like, oh my gosh, their games are just so, like, chock full of action, and they have a really, like, interesting, wacky sense of humor, too, alongside it. Like, there isn't a single Treasure game I've played that I haven't, like, loved the heck out of and remembered years and years later. Like, especially Gunstar Heroes and Mischief Makers, for example. But yeah, that's just one of the many, like, game developers and game studios that inspire me. And of course, Miyamoto-san is one of them as well. Oh, yeah, you designed sprites for, like, Legend of Zelda hacks, too? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, a treasure collection, like a full treasure collection, would be really interesting. Because there's some that I still haven't played. And, like, honestly, gosh, I would love, like, for the opportunity to like, work on a Mischief Makers remake. We could it could be called Mischief Remakers. But yeah, both, and it's really funny how both Ashley and I were both inspired by Mischief Makers in different ways. Like, you can really see like the influence of that game on Grapple Force Arena. But for me, it kind of influenced like what kinds of like female protagonists I like in video games. I suppose. Blah. You can definitely see that, Alex. Yeah. Oh yeah, Will Wright is another game designer that I highly respect, because I used to play a lot of E. I used to play a lot of sim games when I was a kid, like SimCity and Sim Farm and Sim Ant and Sim Tower and Sim Theme Park and yeah, a whole bunch of Sims, and of course later on, like many of the other ones. But it always blew my mind how he worked on all of those games. Oh yeah, Miyamoto and Miyazaki are good ones too. Yeah. Yeah, I should schedule Mischief Makers and Gunstar Heroes for my future streams too. I gotta make a note of that. Let me write that down real quick so I don't forget. Where are you? There you go. Dun, dun, dun. Oh yeah. This is happening. What? Yeah, and that's a good point, Amy, honestly. Like, you would be hesitant to pick a favorite game designer because, like, people have a habit of, like, crediting the head of a project for, like, pretty much everything. Because it's kind of easier than remembering, like, 30 different names for each project, I guess. So it's understandable, but yeah, that's a good point. You just gotta think about, those game designers as being part of a team that made everything possible. Yeah. Oh, Goichi Suda, from No More Heroes. Oh, that's a good choice, Blake Ivory. Oh, thank you, Moths, for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. I have been transformed into a chibi, accidentally because I pressed the wrong button, but, it's fine. I like my chibi form. I'm a bot. Yeah. Oh, that's why you picked me and Maddie, because y'all are respectively just part of Galaxy Trail and Exoc. Oh, thank you, Amy. I'm glad that I could inspire you. Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you, Alex. Thank you, Alex. You flatter me. Thank you, Rogue Spike, for the bird guard redeem. That never gets old. Yeah, totally. Okay, so that's a good point, real person. No one specific game or developer inspired you by themselves, but rather many things across your life. Yeah, not just people can inspire you with your projects, but like experiences. I would say. Oh, he inspired you to make your own crazy action game? Oh, that's really cool. So, Nighthawk asks, for your next project, would you think of doing something like the Trine games? Not like a carbon copy, but like a puzzle platformer with co-op elements? You know, I've never made a multiplayer game before. That might be interesting. Like, it's a bit of an open secret that my next game is a racing game. But that will be my very first multiplayer game, and by extension my very first online game, because like you can't have a multiplayer racing game without online these days. But we're experimenting with some really cool ideas, and I can't wait to share more once it's in a presentable state. And I'm really happy with the character designs for it too. Oh my goodness. But yes, I am a big fan of arcade racing games, such as Ridge Racer, for example. And like Daytona USA as well. Can't wait to hear and see more. Oh yeah, Alex. I almost forgot. Oh, I shall soon. Huh, Disney Speedstorm. That looks kind of like those games that are like very weird about like microtransactions and like copious amounts of grinding unless you pay for like extra currency. But we shall see. Hang On and Outrun. I didn't play a lot of those growing up, so I can't say for sure, but they seem up my alley. Oh yeah, that's right. Disney Speedstorm already came out. I just took sippy. I think they had like a beta or something. Yeah, microtransactions. When will we be rid of them? But some games do handle them pretty decently, and it's a good way to like support the game and keep it going. But other games are just like, why does this have to be a thing when I can make the same amount of progress in older games much faster? Oh, pole position. I remember that too. Oh, it's funny you mentioned hide and seek Plum, because I've been hearing about like a hide and seek mod for like Mario Odyssey that looks really interesting. I don't know if it's like a mod or just kind of like a thing that people are doing. Yeah, AAA games do cost a lot of money to make. I'm kind of worried that like the industry eventually is just going to collapse on itself because the games get too expensive. But thankfully there is the indie scene, which keeps things more manageable out of necessity, but the limitation also results in some really interesting and creative projects. Yeah, indies. Okay, so you dislike microtransactions because most implementations force the game online to make the economy and progression work? Oh yeah, that too. it does force otherwise games that would otherwise work perfectly fine offline. It does force them to be online. And that always kind of makes me sad because it makes it hard for me to invest in the game because I know that once online servers shut down, the game is just going to straight up be unplayable. Unless by some miracle, like a fan is interested enough to start a private server and get it working that way. And even then, that private server will eventually shut down as well. There are many semi-online games like that that I have mourned over the years. And I don't think I could ever bring myself to make like a game like that. Like even if I was that like desperate for like the kind of income it would produce, I would find another way. Because like I feel uncomfortable with the thought that like something that I put so much time and effort into could just like not work one day, you know, and never be able to be played again. You know? Like I suppose. Ba-ba. Oh, really? They're doing hide and seek mods in like other games besides Mario Odyssey? That's an interesting plan. Yeah, Need for Speed Unbound, that would be really interesting. Ba-ba-ba. Oh yeah, I remember that TZ with the Metroid fan game. In that case, I feel like it was a victim of very unfortunate timing because the fan game was like being made around the same time that they were secretly working on their own Metroid 2 remaster. But that game is still around and kicking. It's still getting like regular updates. So I guess they just had to like hide for a little bit until the official remake wasn't new anymore. And like a lot of like some companies like Capcom and Sega are like extremely lenient on fan games, which I'm very grateful for because like I met some wonderful people in the Sonic fan community and the Mega Man fan community as well. And I think in their case, they only really go after you if like one of your releases is like very similar to something that they are officially working on or selling. Ba-ba-ba. Oh yes, Phantasy Star Online, awesome. I haven't played that before, but I've heard good things about it in terms of like MMORPGs. Yeah, I have heard that sentiment, Siffy, that there are people who love FP1 but don't like Sonic. And it's really interesting to think about. Like, it's also kind of validating for me because it kind of proves that Freedom Planet is really, truly its own thing. And is not like a Sonic clone, even though it might look like it is. Like, it has enough differences in the gameplay, like in the higher focus on like combat and stuff, that realistically some people would prefer Freedom Planet and not Sonic, and vice versa. Some people would prefer Sonic and not Freedom Planet, and that's okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, Alex, FP1 is funny because so much of the Sonic community seems to love it, and rightfully so, but it's so different that it's entirely its own thing. Yeah, and that was especially one of my goals with working on Freedom Planet 2, was to take what was different and unique and special about Freedom Planet 1 and kind of like kick it into overdrive and make it really feel like its own thing. And I remember watching like a fan-made video review of Freedom Planet 2, and like the very last sentence they said at the end of the video was like Freedom Planet 2 is not if Treasure made a Sonic game, it's if Galaxy Trail made a sequel to Freedom Planet. And that was touching to me to hear that. So thank you, fan. You would go so far as to say that if Freedom Planet didn't have any of the Sonic gameplay elements in it, you would still enjoy it? Well, thank you. But yes, of course, speed is my style, so I just had to. Oh, you do love that Freedom Planet? That Freedom Planet 1 does feel a little raw? Like it's a game that's just figuring itself out and just going for it. Yeah, honestly, I feel like that's the reason why Sonic Adventure 1 is still like my favorite 3D Sonic game. Because through the rawness, I can just feel like how passionate the dev team was about their vision, and it's got such a hopeful and uplifting feel to it, you know? Like even though it's just like it's incredibly easy and also like kind of like buggy and stuff, and well, it's just never fails to make me feel really happy when I play it. So it's still my favorite. I have a lot of fond memories attached to it, and like the music is great, and the Dreamcast version looks wonderful. Yeah, like Sonic 1, kind of the same case, where like they were still figuring stuff out. Oh, thank you, Blake. Freedom Planet took elements from many of the greatest platformers of the 90s and put them all into one amazing package. Oh, thank you. Yeah, like I'd been thinking about a lot of the ideas that were in Freedom Planet for like years and years and years, and it's kind of like once the project really got going and we had the successful Kickstarter and everything, I just like threw everything at it, like all of my love, all of my passion, all of my ideas. That's why there are so many stages in Freedom Planet 1 that have like unique enemies and gimmicks that only appear like 1 or 2 times and only in that stage and then never again. So in the sequel, we were a little bit smarter about like spreading things out so that the ideas could really cook. Yeah, speedy style, huh? Yeah, Alex, it didn't have the rawness of the coolest guy. Oh, Dusky. That is a good way of seeing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It's kind of the same thing. Like it's raw. Like a very glitchy mess, but I haven't played it yet, but I've heard that it's got like I've heard many friends describe it as having the best story of any Pokemon game, so I'm getting tempted. Freedom plants. Freedom pants. I'm wearing freedom pants right now. You want to find the Dreamcast version of Adventure 1 and 2? Well, it's funny you say that because there's a very good mod called Better SADX, and what it does is it takes the Steam version of Sonic Adventure, it converts it into the 2004 PC release, and then adds a whole bunch of mods on top of that to make it as authentic to the Dreamcast version as possible. It's really good. You should try it sometime, Alex. It's just like playing the Dreamcast version on your PC, and from there you can find even more mods to change the game the way you like it. Yeah, I play modded Sonic Adventure DX on PC too. It's really awesome. Yeah, the fans who work on the mods for it are so passionate. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. You got a Dreamcast copy of Adventure 1, Rogue Spike? Sold it because you didn't like it at the time. Like, funnily enough, like my older brother and I had 2 copies of Sonic Adventure. The first one we got, like, eventually got so scratched up that all of the sounds in the game got scrambled. And not only that, but the game would crash the game would crash after getting through the tornado section of Windy Valley as Sonic. And it would also crash before Tails' first level. So it was pretty much impossible to play it past those points. So we ended up buying a second copy of the game, and that one worked fine. It was really weird. Like, the CD was so scratched up that it basically just like corrupted the files. What? Grew up with the GameCube versions of both games, though. Yeah. I still enjoyed SADX on the GameCube, too. Like, obviously not as pretty as the original Dreamcast version, but it still gave me that touch of nostalgia that I was feeling even back then. You love Zalan, Nighthawk? Aw, thank you. Yeah, Zalan's one of my favorite Freedom Planet 2 stages. I just love the atmosphere and all the little gimmicks and stuff, and the music is really cool. Mama. Yeah, that's true, Amy, right? Like, even though I'm not playing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I still appreciate that, like, some of the mechanics they introduced in Pokemon Legends Arceus are staying around as like pretty much the next evolution of Pokemon gameplay. And I do hope that the Pokemon Company will let Game Freak cook their games a little longer. Oh, your turn? Well, welcome back already. Welcome back already. I'll take Sippy. Rolling around at the speed of sound. Got places to go, gotta follow my rainbow. What? Sonic is scrambled egg. Watch out, Sonic Adventure, you're gonna crash. Ah. Oh, really, Amy? Like, your girlfriend and her brother, no joke, played Simpsons Hit and Run so much that they actually wore out the disc. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Even media such as that is not immune to being worn out. Bump, bump, bump. Oh, thank you, Anne, for the hydration reminder. I'll take another sippy. Mwah. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy I can still stream on this setup. Oh!
What's going on in here?
Hi, Ashley. Welcome back.
Oh, hello.
I'm streaming right now. Say hi to chat.
Oh, hi. You can't see me because I am such a small fairy.
Yeah.
But I'm flying behind Spacey and I'm flying off screen.
Yay.
Hello.
Yay, how was your trip with Zach from Pellecrash?
It was wonderful.
Nice.
I'm having a good time and I hope everybody who is watching the stream is having a good time.
Yay. I'm having a good time. How about you?
Yeah.
Oh, and also, since the fairy is present, I can return to my normal body through the power of fairy dust.
Oh, okay. You need some fairy dust?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Hurrah! Yay!
There you go.
Huzzah! Oh my gosh. That's so awesome. But yes, we are both now safe and sound back in our hotel. Embiggening. I have been embiggened. Today you learned fairy dust shrinks your head. Yep. Yeah, that's what happens when I enter chibi form. My head grows. Oh yeah, slide whistle. Yeah, I have my big girl Freedom Pants on now. See? Come on. What's up?
Spacey,
Yeah.
do you like sour candy?
Do I like sour candy? Not really. What kind of sour candy is it?
Oh, it was the most sour candy. I got a bunch of candy from the arcade because I got tickets.
Oh, nice.
This is the most sour candy there is.
Oh, right. I remember Warheads. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my gosh. I have so many memories as a kid of me and my brother and my next door neighbor. We would just like take turns trying to suck on Warheads until they were completely gone. We never lasted more than a minute.
Okay. 800 bits and Spacey has to eat the warhead.
No, please no, please no. I will honor it. I will honor it to be clear, but
Sorry, I
also-
invented a challenge on your stream.
it's okay. Also, we got bao. The chicken one is mine, and well, it's like a dumpling, but then you got a vegetarian one.
Wow, thank you.
They're sadly not warm anymore.
Do I
There will be room temperature bows waiting for you.
I sadly we do not have a microwave in this hotel room, but I wonder if there's like a communal microwave
I
down
think
in the
there's a
lobby.
microwave somewhere.
Yeah.
You could get one at Goodwill. And just bring it into the
Oh no! Oh no! Oh
eat that sour candy? Spacey.
no! Okay, how many is that? TZ donated 100 bits, and Siffy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Okay, for you all.
I knew
I
that would do it.
I can't promise I'll be able to suck on the whole thing, but I'll try. Okay. For everyone just tuning in, we have reached a bit goal that Ashley just set, where
was a fairy's trick.
a fairy's trick. I am now going to attempt to suck on a warhead. Okay. Here goes. Okay. Okay.
Have another.
So far, so good. So far, so good. Oh. Okay.
I'm sorry, Spacey.
It's okay. I'm doing good so far. It's just unpleasant, but
My stones! We have a new record!
I've beaten my record of the most I've been able to suck on a warhead. I haven't tried it since I was like 12 years old. Don't they get like sweet if you beat the challenge?
Yeah, if you get all the sour coating off, they're sweet underneath.
Oh. Oh my gosh. I made it. The sourness is gone.
You did it!
Yay! Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Now it's a pleasantly sweet candy.
You may enjoy your sweet reward.
Yay! I'm so happy. Ah, I did it. Thank you everybody for cheering me on. Oh, this is really good.
The fairy's trick turned into a fairy's treat.
Yeah, that's true.
Want another one?
Another one? No, thank you. Now it's like a really pleasant, like cherry flavor. It kind of reminds me of a Jolly Rancher.
Worth every penny. Also, you're welcome, Ashley.
Siffy said, worth every penny. Also, you're welcome, Ashley.
Thank you.
Ooh. That was an adventure. I'm glad I went through it with it. I have a newfound sense of confidence. I can handle sourness now. I have gained experience points in sour tolerance.
We have awakened Spacey to a dark power inside her.
Oh, Mike asks what other candy did Ashley get?
Okay. I also got Sour Punch strawberry straws, watermelon and cherry nerds,
I love nerds.
and sour Skittles.
Oh my gosh, you got so many sour things.
They had a lot of sour things. You want some nerds?
Once I'm done with my victory lap against this cherry flavored warhead.
30,000 bits, and I give Sabrina. Who's that? Spacey. Some nerds.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Amy, so, oh, Mickey. Welcome. Thank you for following. What's up? Not much. I just beat the Warhead challenge. I sucked on a warhead for the first time since I was a little kid. And when I was a kid, I only lasted a few seconds before the sourness was too much and I spit it out. But just now, I got through it all. And now I'm at the sweet core. But yes, welcome. I'm Spacey Batotelli. I'm a Gadgeteer Bat and a game developer.
And I'm Ashley in the distance.
Yeah, and that's Ashley, my friend, who is a fairy.
I'm just off screen.
Yes. And she is also very small, so even if she was on screen, you wouldn't be able to see her.
I'm less than 1 pixel.
Less than 1 pixel. Am I a furry?
Aren't you literally a bat?
Yes. I'm a bat. And I got bat wings. I got big old bat wings. And they flop. And I can wrap them around my body. And I can pretend to hug chat with them. La. Huzzah. What? I'm still sucking on my warhead. I apologize if it sounds weird. Bats are goody beans. Aw, thank you, Rogue Spike. Yeah, who is Sabrina? I think I've heard of her. She's a really cool game developer. Or so the legends say.
I get Spacey and Sabrina confused a lot. Sometimes I call Sabrina Spacey. Sometimes I call Spacey.
Yeah, I do the same thing. Blah. Bats. Oh, yeah, that was so cool. You know who Sabrina is? Oh, that's so cool. We have a mutual friend, Amy. You know Spacey the Bat, Alex? That's so cool. I wish I could meet Spacey the Bat. Sabrina, Jamaica, ba. You know Roosh the Bat, Dusky? I've said this before, but if Spacey Batotelli and Roosh the Bat met, we would kind of get along, but in the end, I think we would just take turns stealing each other's jewels. I do not want her touching my Crystal Skull collection. But if she steals my Crystal Skulls, I will steal her Chaos Emeralds. I know, right, Amy? To be honest, you wouldn't trust Rouge if you met her in real life. Oh yeah, that's right. There's a full moon tonight. So once I'm off stream, I'll manifest some positive energy. And since it's a full moon, it will have a better chance of projecting out into the world. Would Carol and Sans get along? Well, now that I've played Undertale, I can now answer that with a definitive yes. God, oh my gosh, the pun battle between those two, could you imagine that? Ugh, that would be one for the ages. Yeah, what a matchup. Just like the same amount of hype as like a championship boxing match, and like with the same kind of like a battle arena and stuff, but they're not actually fighting, they're just exchanging puns. Yeah, that would be a punishment. A punishment. Yeah. Good one, Rogue Spike. Oh, you know a few bats, real person? Are they VTubers? Like me? Like, real talk, I am very happy that, like, Bat VTuber Twitter, specifically, like, we're all very encouraging to each other, and we go to great lengths to try and find each other, to build, like, a sense of community. Like all the Bat VTubers. Like I will every now and then I'll see a Bat VTuber on Twitter like make a post about, hey, if you're a Bat VTuber, drop your photo in here and let me follow you. It's so cute. We form a mighty cauldron. Oh, Siffy, I have links disabled for, except for like mods and like VIP, but let me see. But if the clip is in there, it'll show up in my channel page. Oh my gosh, yeah, real person. Papyrus and Corey could form a support group for those who suffer from siblings with terrible puns. He would be like, first time? And Corey would be like, you don't know the half of it. Oh yeah, Mike, that's a cute idea. We would all call it echolocation. All the Bat VTubers using echolocation to find each other. Yes, that's what we do. Oh yeah, that is also true, Lawatu. Bats are very social animals in real life. So it makes sense that we all find each other in the VTuber realm. Oh yeah, Alex, the support group is just called the Punished. And they hate it. Oh my gosh. Now that I've actually played Undertale and like love it to bits, I'm starting to embrace like the wackiness of the fandom and their ideas for different character interactions. Oh, you know a Bat which works at Santa Monica Studios? Nice. Are you accepting any Punder studies? Oh, good one, Sippy. Okay, so the warhead is now small enough that I can chew it. Okay, let's go. Oh. That felt like Isaac in Dead Space stomping on the corpse of his opponent. Victory! Total victory! Hold on. Yay! Crunch. Yeah, that was a crunch. That was not as scary as I would imagine, as I thought it would be. I guess my only frame of reference for those sorts of things, like such as the Warhead Challenge, is like those hot sauce challenges that some VTubers do. Now that seems like very scary. And funnily enough, my friend Alex was talking about like how she can't really like taste like sour stuff. So like she can have like even the hottest hot sauce in the whole world and wouldn't be affected by it. Which is really cool, which is really interesting. But I'm not sure if I'd ever have the stomach for that. Cause like I've heard if you're not careful about how you like consume the hot sauce, you could like really mess up your stomach. I know, right? Oh, the one chip challenge. I've heard about that. Just like a single chip that is just like so incredibly spicy that most people can't bear to finish it. Oh my gosh. Most of the hot sauces and hot ones are very good. Yeah, I like a good spice, you know. I like spicy food, but like I've never had a spice that just like goes so far beyond that it messes up your stomach the way that a lot of people describe. But yeah, like I've watched a few episodes of Hot Ones, and it's pretty interesting the way that people react as they're being asked the questions. Yeah, I haven't tried anything with ghost pepper in it. I've heard that like you could like put like ghost peppers or Carolina Reapers in like chili, and depending on like the amount that you're cooking, you could just like put one of those peppers in, and it makes the whole pot of chili only mildly spicy. That's pretty interesting to think about. Oh yeah, it's like what Siffy's saying. Like ghost pepper is like super tasty and not crazy in smaller doses. Oh, yep, that looks like I've seen that in the store. I saw it in the store one time. Like the one chip. Oh my gosh. Its presence, like just the single chip in the package. It is quite intimidating. Oh, that's interesting, Alex. So since the spice doesn't register after a certain level, it just tastes like roast vinegar. Huh. That's very interesting. Yeah, it is wild, honestly. Okay, so you like to do... Okay, so TZ, you like to do chili garlic oil by grinding the chili peppers and seeds to a very fine dust. And the oil reduces the impact of the spicy effect and makes it to an excellent delicacy. Huh, that sounds very interesting. Can handle spice to a certain extent, Tristadia? You know you have more tolerance than your peers at least. Nice. Yeah, spicy food on a chilly day is quite excellent. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, like, honestly, like the Taco Bell hot sauce is one of my favorites. But I usually don't have enough reasons to go to Taco Bell when there are better alternatives in the area. And it feels kind of weird. It would feel kind of weird to me to just go in there and grab some hot sauce packs and then leave. So it's been a while since I've had them, but I really like Taco Bell's hot sauce. It's very nice. But my mom actually knows how to make homemade crunch wraps. So that's really cool. I mean, like, we're like 40 minutes away from the city, and by the time we get there, there are better taco places than Taco Bell. So we figured we might as well learn how to make some of their signature foods ourselves. Homemade crunch wraps are so good. Oh my goodness. And in some respects, they're way healthier too. Like you can control what kinds of ingredients you use, you know. So like one of my favorite things is like the homemade crunch wraps. It's so good. And I want to learn how to make homemade chalupas too. Like I gotta figure out how to make like the funky looking like chalupa shells. I think that would be really awesome. Oh, there is a fairy in chat now. Welcome, welcome. Alex, oh, you're so sweet to us. Thank you, thank you. Yes, Ashley is so small that that she can squeeze in chat, even though she's already right here. But yes, thank you for shouting out. Everyone join us in following Ashley's Arcade. Huzzah! How many bits to get Spacey to try hot sauce? Well, that's the thing. We don't have any hot sauce with us. But that might be a fun, like, I guess sub goal sometime, maybe. Where I have a stream where I try hot sauces and the number of bits determines how many Scoville units I'll go up to. Within reason, of course. I do not want to hurt myself, like, or my stomach. So I'd really have to think about it first, but it's a thought. And it's the thought that counts. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, doing good. 1 million bits? I have never seen anyone give that high number of bits. I've seen some records on some of the more popular streams where like someone like sent tens of thousands of bits. But like millions would be, oh my gosh, that would be so much. You want to go to bed at a semi-reasonable hour tonight? Oh, yes, absolutely. Sleep is important. But I wish you farewell, Lawatu, whenever your time comes. Yeah, 1 million bits would... Right, Amy? Like, you would no longer be dealing in bits. It's something you would write a check for. Oh my gosh. Yeah, for real. Yeah, I still want to do an Ashley's Arcade too, in the future when I get back from California. I think that would be a nice thing to set up, have like a nice relaxing stream where I play arcade games without context. And I want to do more collabs too. And like jumping on the Family Minecraft server, I guess would be a part of that. It'd be fun if I could have one of my VTuber siblings join me and like help me gather resources and to help me construct the building I want to make. Because I would want to go on to Minecraft on stream with a goal in mind. And my first goal would be to build a base for myself. That is at least mildly striking from a distance. Oh, you dropped some photos in the Discord of the Grove in LA. A hot sauce shop and lots of good places to eat. Oh, thank you. Thank you, operator. Oh, yeah, like hot sauce taste testing for a living. That would be kind of, I could see why that would get old after a while. Oh, what's happening Tuesday, Alex? Tuesday, Spacey. I know there's a few more places that we're planning on going. And yeah, tomorrow is going to be when our first trip to downtown LA. Oh, right. Yeah, the place operator mentioned. In the general area? Okay, cool. Yeah, sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, tomorrow we're gonna go to downtown LA and meet up with a couple more friends that I haven't seen in actually like years. And I'm really excited for that. I can't wait to meet them. And then we'll go to the Last Bookstore or Little Tokyo, depending on what we're feeling like. Yeah. Oh wow, it's already been 2 hours? Oh my goodness. I'm having so much fun with y'all. Oh, you've been to Little Tokyo, Amy? It is fun. Awesome. Books, Japan. Yeah, because Ashley is big on like vintage Japanese stuff, so like vintage Japanese cartoons and anime and stuff like that. And Alex gave me some good recommendations for like anime I could watch if I want to catch up on like watching more of them. So that's really cool. That could be something I could try later this year. Oh, yeah, manga. Yeah, the night stream went a lot better than I expected. Like, there has been like pretty much no latency. My model has been going at 60 frames per second, and my laptop really hasn't been heating up too bad. Like, I did reduce the resolution of my model by half, and you can't really tell, especially at this zoom level. But by doing that, like, it feels like I'm able to keep a steady 60 frames. I'm really happy that I bought this laptop. It's an Alienware. It's got an RTX 3060 in it, whereas my desktop computer has a 3050. And I bought it at half price. And the only reason it was half price is because the person who originally bought it opened the package, and then they saw it was the wrong laptop, and then they returned it. And that's it. I'm like, what? How does that warrant such a steep discount? Oh my goodness. But the laptop has a good home now. Yeah, oh my gosh. Its base price is pretty much exactly the same as my desktop PC. So that's an insane amount of money saved. But like, I'm shocked that I was able to get it at such a steep discount, but I did. And because of that, I can do travel streams like this. I'm so happy about it. I got the BAT discount. Yeah, that's right, Ashley. The BAT discount. BAT for bats. Blah. Bato Travely. I am Spacey Batotelli, and I'm Bato Traveling. Yeah. I still gotta think about what I'm gonna do first when I get back. I have tomorrow to set up my schedule. I will be flying back Wednesday, but I won't get back until late in the night. And of course Thursday, I also need to take that off because I need to go into town to a doctor's appointment because my lipoma is getting bigger. So I need to check that and make sure that's not something to worry about. But it's fine. But so I'd say I would start like streaming regularly again on Friday. This Friday. Well, next Friday, because it's still the previous week, but yeah. So what should be my first game would be the question. I'll give it some thought. Oh, thank you, TZ, for the High Tree share reminder. I'll take Zippy. Very good. Oh, I see. But yeah, I think this is a good place to call it for tonight. I had a good couple hours, and I'm really happy that I could still stream and that everyone stopped by. I had so much fun telling you about my trip.
Everyone too?
Yes, of course. Please say goodbye to everybody.
You can't see me, but I'm Ashley, and thank you everybody for watching Spacey stream.
Yes, thank you everybody. It's really awesome talking to you all about my trip and about Freedom Planet and about spicy stuff and
Thank you for helping me make Spacey eat a warhead.
yeah, that was a fun challenge. I'm glad I did that. Thank you so much for the well wishes, everybody. I will be sure to have the best of times over the next few days. And I shall stay safe. And I hope you all stay safe as well. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your evening. And I shall be back at my regular Spacey Bat schedule on Friday. Thank you all so much. Bye.